How do, everybody? We're getting a little bit of a late start this morning. We had to do all the animal chores and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure we've shown you that before, so you'll just have to peruse through all of our previous videos. The farmer in.
Liddell.
The farmer in.
Liddell.
Hi-ho, da dirty do, the farmer in.
Liddell.
Anyway, we got the nesting box all took care of. It's all painted. A couple little latches right here, and there you go. Hopefully, at some point, we'll have eggs in there. I got the door started. Just a simple frame. We're going to put a cross brace in here, and then I'll put the hardware cloth on the inside of it, and then put a secondary frame. Basically, I think you might not be able to see very good. So the 2x4 goes this way, 2x6 comes up to it. So when I do it the other way, I'm going to have the 2x6 overlap, kind of lock it in. There are other ways of doing that without using so much material, but I have a lot of reclaimed wood, and I bought some extra 2x4s on purpose when we did the coop. So we'll get that all taken care of. Oh, and I'm also going to be using chunks here because this one will go over past, so it's not going to be a full-length 2x4 anyway, but blah, blah, blah. So let's get her started. First thing I think I'll do is just get that on there, the hardware cloth down low. So I'll grab a tape measure, and here we go. All right, I think the cutoff wheel is probably the easiest, fastest way of doing that. It's way faster than just using side dikes or something like that. We'll get this stapled on here so I can figure out how to get it to lay up against all foot. All right, so I gave it about 3 staples on the end there just so that I could kind of pin it from going up and down, and then about every 6 inches, and I do it at an angle. That way, instead of just getting one wire, you're kind of encapsulating 2 of them. You don't have to measure it out or anything. You could, I mean, if that's really important to you, but I'm learning that sometimes for the sake of time, roll with it. All right, now I had intended on buying 48-inch roll of this stuff so that it's 4 feet wide. And then it comes out and lays across the ground a little bit further. But you know how Amazon is. You start looking at stuff and then you scroll down and, oh, there's a better buy and blah, blah, blah. Before you know it, you're looking at 15 different things. That's how they get you. But anyway, we ended up with 36. It'll still work. This is 3 feet off the ground. About. It comes down. We're still sticking out just a little bit. All of that is just to try and keep the ground squirrels. Well, hello, Faith. Try and keep the ground squirrels out. Obviously, it doesn't stop dogs, but anyway, from digging underneath. Skunks are the biggest issue. We haven't seen any of those yet this year, but they are out there. Anyway, we'll get this stapled off. All right, I probably should unscrew that and put the hinge over the top of this. I guess I can unscrew it from the door if I ever need to maintenance it or whatever. We'll let that go for later. So this stuff stretches quite a bit more. I guess if I'd have turned it the other way, then it's got this wire here that'll help it not stretch so much this way, but it's still super pliable. I could just run the hardware cloth all the way up, but the rest of the coops runs and everything I've done with the chicken wire on top, so just to follow theme. Sometimes that kind of stuff bothers me, so we're gonna make it look similar. Anyway, I put staples a little bit closer together just because this is so much stretchier, I guess is one way of saying it. But and then we'll trim off the top, and that most likely will again flip over and right across the top of the door. And then we'll get the door finished off. I'm going to leave that loose so I can pull it out. There's a lot of net down low and I don't want to cut the net. And I think we should probably get some more screws in there. All right, I think I'll move you around the corner so you can see better. Okay, so now we're going to cut our 2x6 to go across the top here. I am about out of screws. Now I'm going to have another, probably 2x4 because I'm running out of 2x6s, but I'll have a 2x4 across the inside of this, so I'm not going to worry about getting it screwed in massively because I am almost out of screws. Okay, top part done. We'll go ahead and put the 2x6 across the top just because I'll feel like I got more done. Hey you. So you want the good news or the bad news?
Don't I get both?
Well, yeah, usually. Which one you want first? Thank
Good
you.
news.
Good news is that part's done and I'm halfway done with the door.
Bad news.
I'm almost out of screws.
Oh, yeah.
I've got like 6 more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I could have started at the bottom, but chickens are chickens and they will fly. Thank you for the coffee. What are you doing? Oh, did you see some screws laying out there?
I did.
Nice. Right on. Thank you.
I love you.
Hey, you know what? I really appreciate that you see little things that a lot of people wouldn't. I really, really do.
I love you, babe.
Love you too. And now I still have about 6 screws. Okay, so the hinges are on this side, so we don't need to worry about that, but I want something to be on this post that's kind of like a bang stop. I don't know what to call it. A stop, something to hit up against. That way you can push the door closed and do the latch. Which, by the way, in the Great North Wet, which is where we live, these doors swell up tremendously. Partly my fault because I didn't seal them and everything, so water does get in and whatnot. I try to do everything with a little bit of a gap so it can swell up, but yeesh, I'm going to have to drill out some holes or make some more adjustments or something, because the ones for the ducks, that's a pain. Anyway, we'll get the bottom piece cut so that we can overlap the hardware cloth. We'll get the piece of 2x6 across the bottom, probably put a 2x4 on the inside here, and then I'll put some chunks in between, and we can wrap this thing up. So when I cut it off, I follow one of these lines, hoping this will focus in here, but it leaves these little jag marks. I could come back and cut them off, but that's going to drop them off in the chicken pen. I suppose I could just do it out here, but I'm going to put it towards the hinge side of the door so nobody's ever going to rub on it, and it's going to get covered up too. So there's a chunk right, I don't even see it, but I cut it high because of the concrete for that other post. So we'll do a similar thing to this real quick. That's probably more than I need, but that way I don't have to do it twice. On the next video, we'll have a piece across here, fill in a couple, so it's basically 2 frames. And then I'll also put another stop up against this. I'll show you that on the next video, and maybe we'll even show you guys us putting the chickens into the new big coop. Anyway, that'll do it for now. Thanks for watching. God bless.